hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep.
Hello there, welcome back, or welcome if you're new. My name is Daphne. Thank you so much for joining me today. As you can see from the beginning clips, we're going to be in the backyard and we're going to be working on the shed and also the barbecue area. So this is how the area is looking. I've already gotten started with pulling out a bunch of items that were just haphazardly collected in this area. Most recently, we found out that our barbecue is not working. So that one has been pulled out and it's on the side, and we're going to have to find a replacement. So I decided that I'll just redo the entire area. We're going to be ripping out the old rubber stepping stones that we had laid down underneath it. We're going to be putting in some actual paver stones with some crushed rock. We're going to be doing a new stain. It's going to be the same slate bare solid stain that we used in the front of the house on the stone wall caps, and I absolutely love the way that stone turned out. So we're going to be using it for its intended use, that stain, which is to stain wood, and we're going to go in and just give it a nice fresh coat of stain. But before we get started there, I just want to clear out the space and get everything, out of the way so that we'll have room to start working on the shed. So when I shared the shed last year, I know some of you had suggested that I add in some shelves so that I can get the bins up off of the floor. So we are going to be exploring that possibility. And we're also going to be looking at all of the items that we have stored out here and trying to pare them back. So I just wanted to thank everyone for joining me today. I hope that you do enjoy this video. I'm recording this last weekend, and it was during the heat wave, and in this section it was so hot. I was right over by the condensers to our mini split system, so I was getting a little breeze, a little fan from the exhaust, but it was still very, very hot. So I was still taking like my breaks. I was working for like 15 to 30 minutes at a time, and then I was taking breaks and definitely going inside and cooling off. I always suggest this to you guys as well, so definitely make sure that you don't stay outside in the heat of the day too long. Make sure that you take breaks so that you can cool down, and then also make the best use of your time. So one of the main things that I want to address is the fact that this shed doesn't have an actual floor. So as you can see, I just used some old like rubber tile that we had in another area. And below it, I put down trash bags because for some reason I thought that would be a good idea. But now I see that the trash bags actually held the water in, so that whenever it rained, the water that would get into the shed, because it's inevitable, because this is a low spot of the property, it would just sit on top of and below the actual tile. So we're going to pull all this out and examine, how the ground looks, and then we're going to make adjustments. So I was pretty surprised that the floor is actually very level. So all I have to do is to just, in some areas where it's slightly like a little dip in the ground itself, which is more towards the center, I'm just spreading out a little sand. This is playground sand that I had bought for a past project. So I have almost a full bag left. So I'm just going to spread it out. I'm going to tamp it down, and then we're going to add in the pavers. So I picked up 15 pavers to be able to lay down in this section. And they're 12 by 12s because the actual shed is a 4 by 6 foot. But I miscalculated because there is like a slight lip that prevents the tile from going all the way to the edges of the wall. So what I did was I used 2 rows of tile, which I think I was able to get 5 in. So we wound up putting down 10 of them. And then I went in with just some spare pavers that I happened to have to go in the last run of tile. And then I added in some crushed marble rock, which is finishing it off really nicely, and it's also adding to a little more drainage around the perimeter of the floor itself. So these pavers worked out perfectly. So now I picked up I picked this up on Costco.com, and it is supposed to be a shelving system that is specifically made for their black and yellow top bins. You basically slide the bins and they rest on the bars. And what I found out is that the only way that I'm able to use that system is to have it the long way, which was taking up too much space inside of the shed. So I did decide not to use the shelving system. So I returned it, and I think I'm going to relocate the bins into the garage. And that way I'll be able to utilize the space for a lot more of my tools and also the lawnmower. So my husband was so great. He came out and he put one of our spare umbrellas in the stand here, just sheltering me so that the hot sun wouldn't be beating down on this area. So it was giving us a lot of shade in this area. So I was very thankful, that he thought of me and came out and set up the umbrella for me. So now we're just moving over to the area of the barbecue section. So everything that I pulled up off of the floor, now I'm just discarding. I'm just putting it inside of one of these large contractor bags, and then we're going to set it outside for it to be picked up on trash day. And then once I get this done, we're going to work on the actual ground itself, trying to level it out, and then we're going to go in with the paver stones. So I just want to truly thank you guys for all of the love and support that you guys show me each and every time that I put out a video. The comments that you leave for me, letting me know like where you're watching from, what you like about the video, and just giving me just words of encouragement definitely make me smile every time that I'm able to read it. So please, I do encourage you to leave comments down below. I always love to hear what you guys are doing, what garden zone you're in, and introducing yourself, especially if your handle is not reflected of your name, because I do like when I reply back to you to always, address you as your name. So if you're able to just leave your name, if your handle is different, because that's how YouTube shows me your comment. It's based on your handle. That would be great, because as you guys know, I love to chat it up with you in the comments.
Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight.
So I just got so carried away with working today. I did plan on doing this step last, but I started laying down the pavers, so I just went in and added in the gravel. I do come back later once I'm staining it, and I have to like shimmy it out of the way so that I'm able to stain all the way down to the ground. But for now, we finished that project, and we're going to move over to working on the planter on the left hand side, and then also just getting rid of these vines that are creeping from the other side of our wall, and then also some weeds that are collecting in the corner as well.
Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, but I don't wanna jinx it, baby. Let's not get ahead of my time. Oh, but I don't wanna miss you, baby. So I stand up and speak just my mind. Oh.
So I definitely was putting off working in this section because of the AC units that, are new. As I said to you guys previously, over the winter, our heating system went out. So we had to address it, and we put in electric mini splits. And that's with 2 condensers on the outside, one on this side of the home and one on the back side where the patio is. So the gravel that you see down there was spread as a base to be able to level out the system and just make it work very well in this spot. So typically in this spot I usually put mulch, because this is an area that our sprinklers don't hit. So usually the grass is not growing in too well in this section. So today I decided that I was just going to tackle it, and in doing so it spiraled into working on the shed and then also on the wall as well. So now we're at the point, I just cleaned off the wall. I just used some dish soap and some warm water, and then I sprayed it down. I let it dry, and now we're back out and we're working to add the slate color bare wood stain. and I absolutely love it. It's in solid and it's in color slate. And I picked up this applicator that I'm trying to use now, but as you guys know, I love to apply stain with a brush. So as you can see, I tried with like 4 passes. I didn't like the coverage, so now I'm going in with my chip brush that I use for all of my projects. I love the coverage, and I'm able to apply the stain very quickly and get the results that I'm looking for. So this is early the next morning. It did start raining at the end of yesterday, so we did have to stop working. So I'm up early. I want to finish the project up. So I came out, I put down some mulch in that section, and now we're going to be working on the planters now that, we had overnight for the stain to dry, and we are going to just come in, add in some potting soil here in this section, as well as the other one on the left hand side, to just refresh the soil. I'm going to be transplanting some of the flowers that we have in some other areas. Now, about a month or so ago, I shared with you guys that I planted up some zinnias and some marigold. I just sprinkled the seeds, and I said that the seeds were old. They were from the Dollar Tree that I picked up a couple of years ago, and I just never used them. Well, this is one of the zinnias that sprouted, and it looks absolutely amazing. So I just grabbed it from the box, and I'm gonna transplant it here. There's this one, and then there's also a little baby seedling next to it. So we're just gonna water it in, and then I'm going to pop one of the sedum that I had in another area in the other box, and we're gonna water that in, and then also put some mulch down. So now that we're putting the mulch down, I wanted to look back at the before of this area, and then we're going to go into the final reveal of the space. So as you can see, it was a complete mess. We had wood all over the place. We had the old worn out vinyl tiles that we had the old grill resting on. It was full of like junk, just discarded all items that, you know, were from in the backyard. And this is how we turned out. Again, we still have to buy our new grill, but I do have the base nice and sturdy, and I have the planters all planted up so that once I get that, we will just be able to slide it in and do some final decorations around it. This morning it had just finished raining, so that's why you see everything nice and wet, but I did want to share the final reveal with you guys. So I do appreciate you guys for stopping by. I hope that you enjoyed these mini projects and just the work that we've been doing in our landscape overall. So I got up this morning and I decided that I was going to add in some coleus that I had just plucked off the top of them from our planters out front, and I'm just going to root them up inside of these planters and see how they do. So again, I just want to thank you guys for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed, and I will see you back here on next Sunday. At the end of the video, I'm going to share a couple of our projects that we've done recently. So if you haven't watched those videos, the playlist is going to be linked in the description. Until the next time, have a blessed day.